and I work for the Career Development Center. Today, I have with me Zane Johnson. He's going to be kind of helping me walk through and give a tour of LinkedIn today, and has come with a lot of really good questions that will kind of prompt this tour. So thank you, Zane, for being here. Zane is really involved on campus. He's a senior supply chain major and is involved in SGA as the Director of Student Affairs. So thank you, Zane, for joining.
Of course.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my LinkedIn profile here, and so Zane has a few questions that will kind of prompt a tour, but here's just kind of the landing page, and we'll start here. Zane, tell me what your first question is.
Yeah, so my first question to you, Laura, would be, what is the overall gist, purpose, and breakdown of LinkedIn, and why is it important for students like us, college students?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I think LinkedIn is so important for college students to start to get involved in, because it's a great way, especially during COVID times and the pandemic, to really feel connected to people, especially people within your industry. So you come to LinkedIn to find other folks that are doing really cool work that you're interested in. So you'll see a little bit later. And as I kind of scroll through the screen here, I'm connected with a bunch of people and companies that I've come across in my professional career that are connected to me in some way, or are doing work that interests me, or are doing similar work to me. And so it's a great place to learn from each other, and to learn about opportunities, and to connect with others. So yeah, I feel like that's the main purpose. And you'll see up here at the top, there is a space where you can look further into your network, but you'll also see that there's a spot for jobs, so that people are using LinkedIn more and more to post jobs that they have available. So this is a great place, and I'm sending students here more and more to search for positions within their industry. So not only is it a great place to search for jobs, but it's also a good place to connect with people. And Dorothy, your question about, is this a good place for education majors? I think the more we encourage education majors to be in this space, the better of a place it will be. So I think it's really relevant in any industry for you to be connected in LinkedIn. So I think it's absolutely a great place for education majors to be. I think it was originally built for people within business areas, but it has definitely expanded from there, and more folks from all industries are involved. So yes, I would encourage anyone from any industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was going to be my next question, Laura, was what, and I guess you kind of already went into a little bit of detail about it, but I guess I'm more biased because I'm a business major myself, but I talk to a lot of friends that I have that aren't business majors, and they're always saying like, I don't need a LinkedIn. I'm not trying to get a corporate job, or I don't need an internship for this major because I'm, nursing or something. I don't know. So what would you say to people that feel as if LinkedIn won't benefit them in their field?
So obviously, the more and more you are engaged in LinkedIn, so maybe if you're not finding lots of job postings in LinkedIn that will be beneficial for you or in your industry, I think it's still worthwhile to have a presence here, because there are a lot of companies, or say if you're working for a hospital or in healthcare in some way, there are a lot of companies or um, associations related to that field that you can follow, and you can see kind of updates on on what they've been up to on their LinkedIn profile. You can also connect with other healthcare professionals, and just instead of maybe using it as much of a space for finding job postings, but more for just connecting with other people that do similar work to you. And most of the time, I know for myself, I work in education, but I really learn a lot from people that don't work in education. So I think we can all learn a lot from each other. And I really enjoy connecting with people that don't do what I do, but have a lot to offer and can really teach me a lot about maybe being a professional in during COVID, or being a being better at my job in a way that I never thought. And they often are kind of related to each other in some way that I didn't know was necessarily related, if that makes sense. So yeah, you find things in common that you didn't necessarily think were there.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's a good segue into my next question is, being in a pandemic, I feel like a lot of us are already behind computer screens a lot, regardless if it's for work or for school or, just on social media in general. So I guess this might set up this question, but how would I, as a student, bring traffic and attention to my profile, even though people are already kind of like more invested into social media in their phones and computer screens right now?
Yeah. So what I'll do, thanks for asking that question. I'll visit my profile and just kind of give you a quick tour of all of the things that you can include on your profile and ways that you can kind of bring attention, or say, like you said, you're spending a lot of time in front of the computer. If you find yourself in breaks between classes, just clicking around on LinkedIn, you probably come across some people that you don't know. And when you land on their profile, you want to be able to gather who it is they are and what they are kind of representing from what you can read on their profile. So I think it's really important to have a picture of yourself, and even a picture in the background here. I have this aerial view of App State because I work there and I was a student there. So I felt like that made sense. But when you search for someone, your picture, your name, and your headline, which is this information right here, will pop up. And I think that is should be really informative for the person. So many people put where they work and what their position title is, but I think it's also another way that you could do it is, especially for current students, is putting maybe your major when you'll be graduating, and some reason why you're on LinkedIn, if you're seeking an internship or full-time opportunities, if you're just seeking to connect with others in your industry, putting that intention there in the headline can be helpful for people that visit your profile that want to know more about why you're in this space. So another good way to tell people more about you is to have a little information in this about section. And this can just be a couple of sentences talking about you and your background and kind of how it's led to where you are today, and maybe some of your goals moving on from here. So I know Zane, you and I were chatting before we started this presentation, and just kind of getting to know you a little bit. And I learned a lot of those things, kind of what you've been up to for the past few years, what you've been studying, and maybe what some of your goals are. And I think that's usually the gist of what people want to know in your LinkedIn profile. You can also do that by including work experiences that you've had in the past or that you currently have, and describing those. And I often recommend, if you have descriptions on your resume, just copy and paste them right here. And you can also put your educational background here as well, the degrees you've gotten, things you were involved in while you were in school, to show that you were a well-rounded student and things like that. There are other sections you can include as well. And I like this skills section because maybe say you've connected with some other folks, you want to go in and you know that you've worked on a project with them and they really did a good job on their public speaking. They have public speaking on their skills section on their profile, endorsing them for that, just giving them a little plus sign will show that you agree that they are good at public speaking. And then when they come, that might prompt them to come back to your profile and endorse you for a skill. And often LinkedIn will recommend skills that are relevant to your industry. So definitely look into the recommendations that they recommend that you add. So you'll see that related to my job, it recommends that I add career development to my profile. I'll add it. And so, yeah, there are other things that you can add to your profile. I often recommend that students maybe add some projects that they've done or research that they've done throughout their educational experience. That can be really helpful to people. It can become sort of a portfolio. You can also upload examples of your work or any certifications that you've had. So you really can personalize it and make it as relevant to your industry as you want.
Yeah, thank you. Another question I have for you is, I'm a senior this year, so I should be really putting more effort into it, but I need to start looking for jobs so I can prepare accordingly. So I need to know if I need to go to grad school, if I don't, if I just need to start applying. So how could I use LinkedIn as a resource for my job search to find a job that might be best suited for me? Because I know we have Handshake, but that's more university specific, and LinkedIn is more universal. So LinkedIn might reach a different platform of companies, I would say, I guess. And I guess you could kind of clarify that too as well.
Sure. So yeah, I think Zane is absolutely right. Handshake is typically companies that are coming to Appalachian wanting to recruit Appalachian students specifically. So I think Handshake is really beneficial in that way because you've kind of already ticked a lot of boxes for them. They know Appalachian students are really awesome and they know that they would be happy hiring an Appalachian student. So we really encourage you to check on Handshake for job postings because I think the more you engage with those job postings, the more companies will come to us to post jobs there. But obviously, not every job is going to be posted on Handshake. So it can be in addition to maybe doing a job search on Handshake, you can do that on LinkedIn. And you're right, saying it's you might find more opportunities here. So you'll see when you click on this jobs tab that you can search for jobs based off of, I was talking to a student earlier this week that was maybe interested in working in a call center. So that's popping up. But you can search for jobs within any industry and you can really break it down by location. So let's say maybe you're interested in the Charlotte area and you want to just see what's out there, maybe entry-level positions. Maybe you want something within supply chain. So that just search chain. So within supply chain in Charlotte, North Carolina, entry-level positions, you'll see that you'll pull up 232 results here. And I really recommend a good way to be really on top of it with your job search is to turn on alerts for this so that you can be alerted daily or weekly when postings are posted and they fit this criteria. So it'll email you when those jobs are posted. But one of my favorite things about LinkedIn as a job search site versus others, maybe all over here, is that you'll see this company has alumni working there. So I always recommend click on those alumni, connect with them, reach out to them, hear about their experience working for that company. It really personalizes job searching, I think, a lot more, and makes when you can see actual people working there, people that went to Appalachian that you already have something in common with, it makes the positions a lot more accessible. So you can really get a personal reflection on how their experience working for that company, which is not a thing in any other job search site that I know of. So that's my recommendation for searching for jobs on LinkedIn, and really saving the searches that you do so that you can stay on top of it. I know a lot of people are looking for remote opportunities. So if, for example, you were looking for a job in Charlotte, you would change the location, since it doesn't really matter if it's, say you're looking for a remote position in supply chain, you'll see that there are lots of opportunities out there as well. And there's still alumni working for these companies and things like that. So it's a good way to get connected with people and learn more about companies when you're applying.
I have a question about, can you go more into detail about how to reach out to people on LinkedIn? So like you mentioned before, if you see an alum working for the company, or that has worked for the company that you're interested in or looking at, how do I reach out to them, or how do I start a conversation with them, or maybe like a recruiter, or anybody related to a company that I might be wanting to work for?
Sure. So you'll see that on this posting that Monique posted this job. So sometimes it'll let you click on the person that posted it and message it. So let's click on Monique. And what I would do is, if you were reaching out to Monique, the poster of this job that you may be interested in, I would send them a message. Well, I don't have premium, so I can't do that. But if you want to connect, so a good way to get around that is if you click on this More button and you click Connect, and I just requested that Monique connect with me and add a note here. And by adding a note, you can just say, hey, I am really interested in your company and would love to hear more about it. Or if for example, if they're an App grad, say, hi, I saw that you're also a supply chain major at App State and graduated from there. Just wanted to connect with you and learn more about what you do. I think kind of connecting yourself to this person, finding something in common. The message typically can't be very long. As you can see, 300 characters is not a lot. So just a quick, brief introduction to you and why you want to connect with this person, I think is a good place to start. And to get around, if you don't want to pay for the premium account, which is also me, clicking that More button, getting to that connection and sending them a note is a good way to go about that.
Yeah, and I think this is really perfect because I think it's another good flow. So, and you might not know the answer to this question, but is there a way to find out if a company actually prioritizes their LinkedIn, or if a recruiter specifically looks at their LinkedIn more so, or would they prefer, so I know I've applied through jobs through LinkedIn, or I've applied straight to their job application process, through their website. So is there a way to find out if a company actually prioritizes their LinkedIn pages, or their recruiters to use LinkedIn? Does that question make sense? I know it was a little confusing.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. I think that's a really good question. So I think when you click on opportunities, sometimes when you click that apply button, it'll redirect you to the website, their website. So let's see. So you'll see that I'm being redirected here to this Target CW website where the posting is. So I feel like that this means that the employer really is looking for opportunities or is looking for applicants to apply on their website. If they have the opportunity for you to apply through the through LinkedIn, you'll see, I'm feeling like most of them are going to redirect you to their web page. You'll see that some of them have this easy apply filter. Let me see if I can find one you can easily apply. So when you click that, the easy apply filter, that means that you can apply through LinkedIn and you just share your profile basically, and it'll send your information over to them. So it'll send your resume if you have it uploaded. It'll send your email address, your contact information, and it's as easy as that. Not all of them are like that. In fact, when I broke it down to see supply chain jobs in Charlotte, North Carolina that have the easy apply option, it brought me down to 11. So most of them are either redirecting you to their site or accepting a longer application through LinkedIn. I would say it's most common that they redirect you though. So it doesn't really matter where you find the job opportunity, as long as you get the application in, it shouldn't really affect your likelihood of hearing back from anybody, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I would say it would be on the company if they accepted easy apply applicants and but they weren't checking those regularly. I do say if it seems too easy to be true, then maybe just go back into their website and do check in with maybe a recruiter or follow up a couple weeks after you submit your application, just to make sure they have everything they need if you're worried about them hearing back.
Good piece of advice. Yeah. That's all the questions that I have. I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah.
And I know we're close to end time anyway. I don't know if Dorothy or Rainey had any questions that they wanted to ask.
Yeah, let's see. How do you add your resume to your profile? That's a great one. So here I am on the profile. So I think I'll have to refresh my here. I know you can do it.
Yeah, I've been trying to look around and it seems like it had one made, but it was just like my LinkedIn profile kind of condensed into one. But I wanted to see if I could upload my own resume.
You can upload your own, but I think with LinkedIn, it makes you pick it apart and divides it into different sections. So you kind of have to build it through LinkedIn.
Okay.
I know there's a way that you can add a resume.
You could add documents to your profile, and what I had done in the past for graphic design is make a resume and a cover letter as a PDF and attach the attachment to my profile so they could click it and download it.
Okay.
And I haven't used LinkedIn for maybe a year or so, so maybe it's different now, but that's what I used to do.
Okay. So Dorothy, where did you go when you uploaded documents?
I'm in my profile now on my screen. Let me see if I could figure it out real quick.
Thanks, y'all. We're figuring this out together. That was a good question. Let me show you really quick a good feature while Dorothy is finding out how to do the resume on the profile. So I am going to show you a good way to find people to connect with. So I think a great place to start is finding App State graduates. So I'm going to click on the school here that I've searched, and when you come to this page, you'll see that there's a tab for alumni. And when I click on that tab, 92,000 people pop up. And that's like really overwhelming. So Rainey, what is your major?
I'm a double major in communication studies and sociology.
Okay. So let's say that you were interested in seeing other people that studied communications at App. So when you click on that major, you'll see that it breaks it down to 950 people, but maybe you want to see communication majors that live in Charlotte. So that's a good way to find people if you're relocating and you want to work in the field, but want to hear more about opportunities available or what it's like to work in communications in Charlotte. This is a great place to go. You'll see that there are people in here to connect with that may be doing work that you're really interested in. So that is a really great place to start if you're looking for people to connect with.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite features on LinkedIn to be able to find people.
I put my profile in our chat, and I haven't messed with it in over a year, I promise. So it's a little bit outdated probably. And it's all about graphic design because it was before I went to App State to student teach. But I was right, at least back when I did it, that it makes you build a resume.
Okay.
And so I have different sections and you'd have to type and upload stuff to each section of it. There's little plus signs and where you could add images and stuff. There's also a pencil symbol where you could edit what is there. And I think like for your work experience and stuff, it's because they want to link stuff that you put in your profile with the companies that you associate your previous jobs with or your skills with. And so that way everything is connected.
Okay, gotcha. So I see your resume here.
And I just have different sections. I definitely need to update this for teaching, but you know, but that's what I remember. And I still see that when I'm looking at my profile, I see the plus button and the pencil button so you could edit the sections.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps.
No, that is very helpful. Thank you. Did you get that one?
Yeah, so go to the featured spot because on mine I don't see where it says featured.
Hmm.
Let me see. Oh, here we go.
Under about is where I'm seeing
Okay, I think I got it.
it. Okay. Great.
I found that LinkedIn is like a professional Facebook page because when I used it a lot as a job recruiter before I went to App State, I found a bunch of topics relating to video gaming because I was hiring for video game testers in Raleigh. And we would post different professional articles to each other. And just like Facebook, you could like people's posts and you could share them with each other. So you're developing your big social network. And that's why I thought LinkedIn was really special back then. It still is special, but just in a different way now.
All right. Thanks for your help on that, Dorothy.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. We are up on our time, but I want to make sure I answer any other questions that you may have before we all head out. And
I'm good with questions.
thank you, Zane, for your help kind
Of course.
giving this tour. It was really great to have you kind of guiding me through this. And thank you, Zane, or Rainey and Dorothy for joining me today. And please let me know if there's anything you need in getting your profile set up. I know your career coach can work with you one-on-one on your profile to make sure it feels really good. So,
Thank you guys for doing this.
yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks for joining.